Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 24. Started out this morning with some isometrics. For those of you that are interested, at the moment I'm doing 45 seconds on each leg, just one set each. And then at the end of the 45 seconds, I'm doing a couple of pulse reps of some reverse step ups on the slant board. And I like to do 45 seconds on each joint angle. So a very shallow knee bend, which is the one you just saw there on each leg. Then I like to do a sort of 90-degree angle isometric, and then I'll do a deep range isometric, as you're seeing here. And that really does set my knees up, makes them feel really, really good, and prepares me for the rest of the workout. Today was a plyometric, sort of easy, kind of moderate day. I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest. Started out with easy runs where it was 100 meters. I had to measure out 100 meters by pacing out my legs. I just did extra long steps and did 100. It felt like more than 100 meters, but that's what I was doing today. And the intention with these is to run at 75% speed. So you're trying to run at sort of 75% of what your maximum speed would be for 100 meters. So for me, I was trying to get that in within 15 seconds. So trying to make sure that I always finish within 15 seconds. So I was running at a sort of moderate pace or easy pace, or I guess you'd call that 75%. And I was timing it on my watch. So I'd start the timer, run, and then I'd look at my time as soon as I crossed the other cone, and then use that as feedback to make sure that I was running fast enough. And that was 4 sets of 100 meters. Really, really nice day today as well. It's nice to work out in the sunshine. Thankfully, spring is finally coming, and the weather's starting to, the days are getting longer, and the weather is starting to heat up, which is quite nice. So after I did these tempo, or I didn't know what to call them, easy 100-meter runs, I did some single leg easy hops, and these were multi-directional. So I was doing 10 forwards on both legs, 10 backwards on both legs, 10 sideways on both legs, and then 10 zigzag forwards and 10 zigzag backwards on both legs. So you're getting lots of multi-directional plyometrics, and you're just getting, these aren't particularly high intensity, you're just getting lots of low volume, low intensity, it's actually moderate volume, I'd say. Moderate volume, low intensity plyometric contacts, which really, really helps to build that elasticity in the legs, which I'm going on about. I always keep banging on about. Then after I completed these, I moved on to some medium hops. So the medium hops differ from these ones in that you're trying to cover a bit more distance and get a little bit more height with every single hop, but you're still jumping and landing on the same leg. And the benefit of doing this, I guess some people would also call this bounding, and it's very commonly used in sprinting, athletics, triple jump, any kind of athletic movement. Bounding is going to help you quite a lot because it not only trains elasticity in the lower leg, training those short ground contact times, but also it improves that cyclical motion, as you'll see here, or maybe not so much with me because I suck at bounding, but it improves that cyclical motion of the leg. It gets the leg to contact and then go round in that sort of cyclical pattern. So it's cyclical ground contacts. So it also builds this appreciation for rhythm and coordination and timing, which are very, very useful for increasing sprint speed, running faster and jumping heights, teaching the hamstring, well, not just the hamstring, the whole leg and all of the muscles in the lower body to work together in unison in order to propel the body forwards in faster and faster time intervals, because you can only jump off of the same leg. So as soon as you've come off that leg, you then have to cycle around really fast to get the leg back into place for the next ground contact. So bounding is such a fantastic way to train explosiveness, elasticity, dynamic strength, and just overall efficiency and coordination of the lower body. So I would highly recommend it for any of you guys that are trying to improve your vertical jump, run faster, and so on and so forth. Then moved into some Nordic curls. Again, I'm not really that close to getting a Nordic curl, to be honest. I really do want to get a Nordic curl, like a full one, but I'm definitely quite a long way off. I'm not even able to get halfway down. But the intention with these, I'm always trying to set, is trying to get as far down as I possibly can before I let my hands take over and get to the floor. And I'm trying to push off as little as I can on the floor to finish the rep. But as you can see here, I'm struggling with that. Then I did some weighted straight leg calf raises. And I thought this was actually a pretty good way that I could load as much as I want on there. So when I do it like this, it's a little bit awkward. It is my first time trying to balance my hands on the outside of the rack, but this kind of works very similar to a Smith machine. I just have to get more and more used to doing this style of movement. Usually what I would do is I just hold a weight in one hand and then do them single leg, but I quite like the idea of doing them like this because you can load a lot more weight onto a barbell like this. You're always limited if you're doing it with a weight in your hand by how much weight you can hold in your hand and your grip strength. And, you know, if it's a long set, 10, 12, 15 reps, then, you know, that's going to become a limiting factor at a certain point. You don't want your grip strength to be limiting how much you can calf raise. And then the last exercise of the day were tibialis raises. This is a smaller rep range than I usually would do. I usually do sets of 20 or 25 and it called for 15, so I figured I'd load up with a little bit more. This is 15 kilos on my homemade tib bar here. And at the end of the set, I was really struggling to get the bar, the full range of motion all the way up. So I was assisting the last sort of inch of the range of motion and then really trying to control that eccentric portion of the lift. I'm sure you guys are aware, but if you're not, that muscles are stronger eccentrically than they are concentrically. Don't know if you've ever tried to do a squat, you get all the way down, but then you can't stand back up. That's because your muscles are able to work with gravity and lengthen under load with the force of gravity. But concentrically, they have to work against gravity the whole time. So it is important to be able to overload the eccentric portion of a movement. So the best way to do that is to get to the point where you've maximally fatigued the concentric portion like I'm doing here, and then assisting the last little part so that you can get that last little bit of volume on the eccentric portion. That's it for today. I will catch you in the next one.